It is a great pleasure to have all of you here in today's forum organized by the School of Engineering, themed Women in Engineering and Technology. Before I elaborate further on our topic, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our alumni members present today on behalf of the school. Welcome back to your alma mater. We do hope that by the end of this forum, your thoughts, views, opinions, and your mere presence itself will leave a deep impact and further inspire our future graduates to excel in the path that they plan to pursue just as you did. Our topic today focuses on the aspects of women in engineering, the challenges of a female engineer in an ever-evolving industrial landscape, and impact of the Industrial Revolution 4.0 in the local industrial domain. And now, without further ado, please do join me in welcoming Dr. Siva, the department head, to present his welcome speech and to launch the event. Dr. Siva.
Thank you. Good morning. Okay, welcome to this SOE Alumni Forum. Okay, my speech will be very short. Okay, because the challenge here actually basically to introduce what our alumni has done or achieved. Okay, out there in the workforce. So actually, this is our second SOE Alumni Forum. So whereby the theme is actually more focused on women, the challenges they undergo in the engineering world. And of course, we would welcome this forum to be a very engaging, a very fruitful session for you to take up as a learning curve, okay, so that you can enhance your knowledge. Okay, basically, I'd like to thank our guest today, okay, Ms. Alti, okay, Ms. Michelle, Ms. Skyline, and of course Ms. Lalita. Okay, they are actually my student before, okay. And actually, they have actually taken a lot of trouble and time to spend actually a solid half day with you guys. Okay, hopefully it will be a very truly learning experience for you guys. I know some of you are required to do some form of assignment. Okay, it will be a good platform for you to actually touch base with our alumni. Okay, so that we can enhance your learning purposes. Okay, without delay, I pass back to Pravina to carry out the event. Thank you.
It is time for me to introduce the members of the forum. We shall start with Ms. Lalita. Ms. Lalita started with a diploma in telecommunications and computer engineering in KDU and graduated in year 2007. Followed by an honors degree in communication and electronic engineering, also in KDU. She graduated in year 2009. She is now currently pursuing her master's in project management. Ms. Lalita has 9 years of industrial exposure in various aspects such as administration, engineering, technical field services, and management. She worked with a few companies in Kuala Lumpur as a project engineer and on-site manager with various organizations such as Orange Business Services, Japan Tobacco International, and Diversified Gateway from 2010 to 2014 through a tenure. The scope of her job involves project coordination, on-site surveying, troubleshooting, testing, commissioning, and maintenance of network, supporting network infrastructures, and much more. Then in 2015, she started her career in Singapore as a proposal engineer with Leap Networks Private Limited. She was responsible to receive and prepare the proposals for the telecommunication systems engineering and systems integration, and to create a project plan with detailed planning on cost and resources. She was also in Program Management Office support at Malayan Banking Berhad, that is parked under the that is supported the local incorporation of Maybank Singapore to drive the overall project that has been parked under the PMO team to support in tracking and reporting the status updates of the project deliverables and milestones. At present, she is a Program Management Office Analyst with CIMB Bank Kuala Lumpur since 2017. The next forum member is Ms. Ng Ka Lai. Ms. Ng started with her foundation studies here in KDU in year 2010. She graduated with an honours degree in electrical and electronics also from KDU in year 2013. She currently holds a master's degree in power system engineering. Ms. Ng Ka Lai has varied experience in consultant companies. She started her career as an electrical engineer in Lee Zainal Cendrian Berhad in 2004 to 2017. She is experienced in low voltage electrical design and installation work. She has involved herself with a few known projects which includes Sunway Medical Center and SRJKC Kai Chi Segambut. At present, she is working with Jurutera Perunding Kuasa Tenaga Cendrian Berhad, also one of the big names in the consultancy field. Currently, she is actively involved in the design and construction of residential areas such as BSP Rumah Selangorku, semi-detached houses, superlink houses, and etc. She is also a certified Green RE manager, which is recognized by authorities in Malaysia such as Kementerian Tenaga Teknologi Hijau dan Air, or known as KETA, Malaysian Green Technology Corporation (MGTC), Malaysian Investment Development Authority (MIDA), Iskandar Regional Development Authority (IRDA), and the local authorities. The third member of the forum member would be Ms. Michelle Brisson. Ms. Michelle started with a diploma in Ms. Michelle started with a diploma in telecommunications and computer engineering in KDU and graduated in year 2001, followed by an honours degree in electrical and electronic engineering, also in KDU. She graduated in year 2003. In 2004, Ms. Michelle started out at MBL Engineering or Maju Bintang Electric Sdn Berhad, located in Petaling Jaya, Selangor. She is currently the Associate Director and Head of Engineering Department in ERS Energy Sdn Berhad, which specializes in photovoltaic cell and provides custom solutions in renewable energy. The next forum member is Ms. Aarti Ganesan. Ms. Aarti graduated with an honours degree in communication and electronics from KDU. She graduated in the year 2011. Ms. Aarti has 7 years of industrial experience under her belt in telecommunications and electronics industry. She worked in Maxis Berhad from 2014 to 2016 as an engineer under Network Operations Department. Her job scope involves high-level design and planning of data communications. Next, she expanded her career path with Celcom Axiata Berhad starting 2016 until present as a network site rollout engineer under sales strategy and performance management. She is actively involved in financial administration, strategic planning, and performance optimization. So, we shall start the session. Students, questions? You may start with your questioning questions. The forum members are waiting eagerly to answer. Alright. Okay, so request of Dr. Siva, the forum members.
Good morning, everybody. Dear lecturers, students, and of course the guests. I just want to share as just how my experience with working with male-dominating industry. It's very tough and challenging, of course, being a woman. After graduation, I started as an engineer. So I just want to let you all know, like being in a male-dominating industry, like you have to be very tough a woman have to be very tough and to perform the task. Example, installation, wiring, dealing with cables and wires, so it's very tough. So you have to prove to the people out there, the management, that you are capable of performing all these tasks. Then they look up to you and they will get the confidence level, and then you can achieve whatever role you are doing. Yeah. Thank you. Just pass to the
Thank you, Ms. Lalita. Ms.
Actually, I'm working as a electrical consulting engineer. So basically, my work scope is designing the electrical system for the development, such as residential, commercial. So actually, I think you guys maybe not really know. Actually, we got this job in this industry because previously, as I was a student, I actually didn't know what I'm going to do after I graduate. So am I right? Or you guys actually aware of this? No answer.
Students, do you actually know there's such a field, such a job scope out there? Yes, no? Well, I know it's early in the morning, but yeah. Come on, let's be active. Be participating in this. So, yes, Ms. Nana.
Yeah, actually this job is quite challenging. As you study in degree, then you have to apply. Then you actually, when we design, we have to deal with authority. We have to know where is the requirement. Usually, we actually did not know this during our study. So our study is just very basic. When you come to this industry, then you will know actually there are a lot more to learn. And my scope, besides designing the electrical system, I also have to meet the client requirement. I have to deal with people, the whole team, such as architect, CNS engineer, to make sure we can deliver the job. And after that, we have to go through the tender process. We have to tender our design, and then the contractor will carry out the work at the site. After that, we have to make sure they are doing the work according to our requirement. And then only we can get the so-called CCC, and only we can use the building. Otherwise, we cannot, like under the construction, we cannot simply enter the site. Only the authorized personnel, we only can enter the site. Then you have to, like sidewalk, this is the challenge of a woman in the engineering. So I think this is a very, very good job. Maybe you can consider after you graduate. Yeah, but sometimes when degree work, you may feel very challenging when you need to struggle to complete all the design within the time frame that given by client. So this is my challenge in my job. And I think that's all for my part. Any question?
Ms. Ng,
Yeah.
from your CV here, I also understand that you're a certified Green RE manager. So you are involved in this developing houses with green technology, which is quite prominent these days. Yeah, they are looking into houses with green design and technology, right? So you're actively involved in that.
Actually, for the green building, we normally will focus on the commercial building. For the houses, client normally we won't go for the green requirement, as it needs cost, need budget to put in to fulfill the requirement.
The ERS will be more dominant in green technology because they are dealing solar energy. I think Michelle will be a better person to highlight how you solar is conducting green system.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Hope you had your coffee. I had mine. I had to write this because I think I'm the oldest here. I might not remember what I'm gonna say. Basically, Kala is in the, I think, energy audit. No, and green building index.
Not really. I'm more on consultant for the electrical system. But of course, we also advise on the green requirement if I want to go for it.
So basically, if you're in the commercial industry that your building, you want to get it certified, GBI index, we call it Green Building Index. That means you have to fulfill certain requirements for the building in order to achieve the status. So which means if you are a certified audit manager, you can actually be the consultant and auditor for that building itself. So mine would be, currently my company is handling the largest solar farm in Malaysia, which is situated in Sepang. If you fly, you might see the whole solar farm there. And I've been in this industry for 8 years. It's challenging those days when I first started because I had to climb roof. For a girl to climb roof is not an easy task. I would think a lot of people might think that.
Yeah.
But if you're constantly learning and with safety in mind and common sense we can't teach, you can go all the way, move up in the corporate ladder, or professionally you can actually be an IR, like in the consulting firm. I think other than that, I hope to see more girls in engineering, which will be great. Yeah.
Well said,
Yeah. Thank you.
So far, any questions? Before I begin, I just want to say how lucky you all are to have a program leader who was very instrumental and very mentoring during my 3-year degree program here. So you guys are still lucky that he's still here, by the way. Because his office is always open, and I cannot mention the amount of times I would have gone there, pre and post exams, have a chat with him. So anyway, my job basically upon graduation started in Maxis. You know how those times where you all get really frustrated, where you have no line, you cannot browse. Yeah, that's my job to fix it for you guys. 24/7, 365. Festivals, public holidays, all the time. Sometimes it gets really frustrating because you want the long break too, but then somebody's got to do the job, right? So yeah, so basically it involves monitoring the site performance, base stations, especially during festivals where it gets congested in like some regions where there's like a lot of people like northern, eastern. So you got to keep monitoring it, and then there's a breakdown. Then whatever time, whatever day, you have to get up and fix it lah. So that you all don't complain on social media and call the customer service non-stop. And then when we get called continuously. So yeah, that went on for about a good 5 years, and then I decided to big leap and go to Celcom. Things been better there, I guess. Slowly and eventually climbing up the corporate ladder from assistant manager to finding manager last month. So, I mean, there's no easy way to do it. It's always going to be difficult, and I know being there you just can't wait to graduate and go to work, but believe me, no. If I could be there right now, I would rather be there. It's so much more peaceful, but I guess that's life. Thank you.
So currently I don't know what degree should I do. So how can I find out what degree to do? Like what type of engineering should I do? Like, how can I find out what should I do?
Sorry,
I don't know. Sorry, my name is Muhammad Damirul, and I'm a foundation student here.
Okay.
And I'm currently having a problem that I don't know what degree should I pursue in.
Okay.
So, is there any tips?
I will graduate. For me, electrical, once you graduate, basically you can go into various departments. You can be sales engineer, technical engineer, design engineer, project engineer, or you can pursue professionally. You can be an IR or lecturer. So I think, I don't know, mechanical and civil, they are also good. But from my experience, these are the areas that you can go to. If you're not technically equipped, you can always do contracts or these what do you call that? Sales. So there's a lot of path that you can pick if you're in electrical. This is my opinion, though.
The others, do you have any opinion on it? Okay, I'll tell you how it worked for me. How I pick what I wanted to do. Basically, see, when you finish Form 5, your exposure is chemistry, physics, maths. We're leaving biology aside. And I knew I didn't want the rest of my life to be around chemistry, so chemical was out. And when I looked at communication, right, I looked at the telco companies in Malaysia, something that evolves every year. When I joined, it was 3G, then it became 4G, now they're working towards 5G. It's something that keeps growing. And to be honest, mobile phones and technology always keeps you excited. Because there's always something new to look forward to, it's not going to be monotonous. So if you want something that is going to keep changing, then maybe communication you could consider. But if you want something to be more hands-on, then mechanical robotics, where it involves a lot of design work. You know? So you need to actually dig deep and realize where your passion is and what you want to do for the rest of your life, basically.
But of course, you have to have the option to go to different industry. Like for power, electrical engineering, you can venture into solar photovoltaics, which is the renewable energy, which is the thing for the future. This is my point of view. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Sue. I'm taking foundation. I was wondering if did you face any gender discrimination in the workplace?
Challenge.
Neither did I actually. However, I would like to say that off the record, male bosses are better than female bosses. Agree.
In my job, I think I face some challenge is like when you go to site, which is under construction, then you have problem finding toilet.
My job nature, of course, there is a lot of technicians who are male. So, like example, cabling work. Of course, a woman cannot go under the table to sometimes we be wearing skirts or dress. So, a male engineer is there to help you. So, I feel, I can't perform this job. So, the managers will assign the task to a male engineer. So there is of course gender discrimination in this kind of industry. So somehow you have to be tough and be challenged in your role.
My question actually basically we had a very strong feedback from industry, citing that what we prepare our graduates in terms of theoretical knowledge, okay, and the practices of engineering, there's a very huge gap. What we believe the theory we given to students is enough. But however, engineers in industry is saying that the theory given by many universities to our graduates is insufficient for the practices. So do you think that what theory you have given so far in terms of knowledge, the skills, is enough or sufficient for you to actually explore your career options? Too tough? There's what we were indicated or was given in our IP meetings, that means the Industrial Advisory Panel Board, that there's a gap between the theory which you guys gain or acquire in the university versus the engineering practices deployed in industry. There's a huge difference. Okay, so are you able to meet that expectation and demand of industry?
I think from KDU I learned a lot. I think it's sufficient though. I don't really understand the huge gap. It's just that it comes with the experience. So we have to work. So you really have to put effort. You have to be passionate. You just have to keep learning, reading, studying, learning from your colleagues or your mentor from a professional engineer. You can really learn a lot. Like even a single line diagram, you might be like, you look at it, oh, I don't understand. But you will eventually, if you go site and if you read your single line, it makes sense. So what I would want to touch on is that be passionate in what you do and hardworking. And I think to me, it won't be that, it's not that big difference, huge difference. So this what I got in mind.
You have to have passion in what you do, and everything seems to be, it will become easy for you, yeah? So, any other questions from our student members? Yes, please. Your name and which...
My name is Yabitin and I'm studying mechatronics now. And because robotic job demand in Malaysia are quite low, and I want to know what field can I join after I graduate.
Thank you.
One of my directors is mechatronics, so yeah, you can really go into any field that you want as long as if you really don't know, maybe you will have to put in extra to study. Basically, mechanical, electrical, I think you learn like basic electrical now. Yeah, you can oil and gas.
Electronics and then basic electronics and
Yeah,
mechanical.
as long as you have basic electronics, I don't think it's a big issue to join any electrical firm or mechanical or mechatronics, yes. So you can go and try once you graduate. Just send me your resume. Be prepared to work from the bottom. Do not expect so much when you start. Put in effort and you will reap what you sow. Yeah.
Very well said. Very well said, Ms. Lulu. Advise you about that. And I would really advise the students to utilize this opportunity to ask whatever that you have in mind, your doubts, and because this is a rare opportunity for you to meet people from the industry itself here coming and sharing their experiences here with you. So, over there, I guess.
Engineering. So my question is that you know that mechatronics course is new, and there is no it's only got 10 years old in the work field. So my question is, do I just take mechatronics or just take mechanical and complete my master in mechatronics? Like take a basic degree and then complete a master in mechatronics. So what do you suggest, like do mechatronics as a degree or as a master? Or which is better? And thank you, that's your question.
To agree mechatronics, because for you to get your masters, you need to work for a couple of years first anyway. So you need to bring with you those experiences before you can get a master's. So if you're going to further study in a specific field, it's best to get the basics in it first. Then you do two different. It's not too different, but if you're going to do your master's, it's best to get the basics first. So it doesn't feel like you're doing two different process.
That's it. Thank you. Yesterday I was conducting this class asking for a pool of questions for this forum, and mainly the question was gender discrimination, women in engineering and all. And if you could see here clearly, the number of female students are very, very less. So, what is your thoughts and views in this? Is it that difficult for a woman to be an engineer these days? And is it a stereotype kind of a thing? And do you have any thoughts to share on this view?
As a woman, you have to be family and you have to balance between family and work. So it's quite tough. Like you can't be sitting in the office for whole day to support the office job. So at the end, you have to come back home. You have to meet your family. So it's a bit challenging in that. So as a man, of course, men, I don't think so. They will. As a mom or as a parent, you have to prepare your kids, look after your kids. So men, maybe at work, they are more tough and challenging in the work industry, but when they come home, they don't cook, so that things like that. So it's a bit, and also in the work environment, there's a lack of enhancement for women. So in example for training, they don't send a woman for training to develop their skills, like technical skills. Yeah, so they send a man to perform the hands-on job, to learn more as a training, like for example networking, CCNA, right? So they won't send a woman to pursue the training.
Ms. Michelle, you mentioned earlier about getting on the rooftop and all that. Thank you, Ms. Alti.
As I mentioned earlier, common sense and safety first, always, in whatever field that you are in. So electrical or mechanical, they are safety factors. So with that in mind, that I just went for it. Because those days as a project engineer, to conduct a survey, you have to see how many panels you can fit on the roof, do ground survey. So yeah, basically construction, as Lalita said, I had to attend site meetings, and construction is not, I would say that not many girls are okay with that. Maybe they think that it's a tough job. So that's why you still don't see a lot of those, but it's more girls than those days. My class, I had 3 girls, including me. So yeah, it's I don't think discrimination should happen. My head of design is a professional engineer, she's a lady, and it's all in the mind. If you think you can't do it, it doesn't matter whether you're a guy or girl. Yeah. So, already made up your mind to pick up engineering. Just go all the way, finish your studies, don't stop halfway. Continue your degree, go for your master's. After that, you can decide whether you want to do your professional engineer or you want to come out and work. It all depends on yourself. But I would say that it is better for you to come out and work a few years to gain experience. So you will have like theory, practical, a bit of, half balance. So then the world is your oyster. I guess that's the thing to stop at.
Thanks, Michelle. Your
That depends.
growth in the company.
Yeah, depends position. If you opt for a managerial position, more on management side, so you can of course pursue towards management. So as an engineer, of course, you have to be hands-on. So you have to design, you have to be technical. So there is lack of opportunity given for women, because sometimes you have to travel overseas to meet the client and all. So as a man, of course, they send the man first, not a woman. A woman is of course always a second option. And also the workplace climate is very important. If you have a female mentor, then of course she will recommend and give more encouragement for the women engineers out there.
So what is your advice to our fellows?
Would be you have to be tough and be open mind. So you don't go to a company and sit down there and think, oh, it's going to be tough and I can't compete with the male. So you have to try your best to achieve, and possibly you can do anything, because we all graduated from the same school of engineering, same skill set, same practical knowledge, everything. So you use your knowledge and go for it. Just try whatever task has been given to you. So you have to prove to the management that you can do it.
Thank you, Ms.
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Umar Hassan. I came from Egypt to complete my study here in mechatronics engineering. So my question is, how can we use our facilities surrounding us as engineers to make our problems in the world lesser and lesser? Thank you so much.
On environmental issues, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, maybe you can start by not littering. That's what she said. Basically, it is maybe related to renewable energy, that you don't pollute the air or use energy efficient electrical products. E-waste management that maybe you might want to look into. A lot of people are throwing phones, but just not recycle or reuse. So I guess if you're talking about renewable, renewable will prevent more of this kind of pollution.
I think when it comes to ethical, it depends how much you want to put up with it. You see, you cannot be a complaint bureau and always complain over something. I mean, some things you need to push under the rug, but never compromise your integrity and your beliefs and whatever you think that is wrong. I mean, of course, there is a lot of racism and sexism at workplace. It's obvious, but as much as you can tolerate it, you can, because it's going to happen anywhere and everywhere. The grass is not always greener on the other side. But if you feel that it is too much for you to handle, then by all means, you can definitely walk up to your HR and talk about it. And most of the time, it's anonymous. They're not going to point you on. But don't do something which you are not comfortable with. Because, I've had met vendors who have, sometimes been over-friendly, but you don't necessarily have to put up with it. It's at the end of the day, you're just a headcount in a company. If you go, they replace you. It's not life. So you have to differentiate what's right and wrong, but that doesn't mean everything you want to, take it up further. Because sometimes people are just being friendly, or they are just, just the way they are. But if you feel something is not right, then please take it up to HR. Because if you don't deal with the problem now, it will prolong, or it can happen to somebody else.
other sectors? You have similar challenges?
As what you mentioned, yes, the HR, if you're talking about ethics and integrity, yes. But in terms of dealing with clients, if you encounter things that they think that you should bend the rules, I think you should talk to your manager or you should talk to your superior that this and this and let them manage the scenario with the client. For me, I will go by the principle. My principle, my belief, I will go this way. But yes, there are times that you need to be a bit flexible. So you just have to gauge what are the consequences involved. Then discuss with your managers and to solve that issue. So.
Just to add, another thing in the working world, right? When you're dealing with one person to another person, it's always better to have it in black and white. Whether it's in email or WhatsApp or any form of documented discussions. Because face-to-face discussion, the other party always and most of the time denies that it ever took place and that you ever agreed to such a thing. So it's best that you either keep it in emails or WhatsApp. So later, if there's an inquiry or audit on you, then you can just, show it.
In my field, in terms of ethics, actually is like, because in construction, most of the suppliers, they will come to us and then they will tell us how good is their product. And then, so they will, just in terms of ethics, then we have to follow our professionalism and of course we have to follow our company policy. So we won't do anything that is unethical. But if you think you can handle, then it's not good for us. So in construction industry, there are a lot. And also we have many tier, contractor, client. You definitely will face this problem in future when you enter this industry. So you have to make sure all this is compliant with the requirement of the authority and mentioned by one of the, just now the, what we call this, the red and white, we have to note down everything to protect our company and also protect our clients.
Do you sign contracts for planning?
The IR that I just signed.
I think on networking environment that any ethical issues that you can ask break the rules or what?
Like as a woman, they will overuse you and they put pressure on you. You have to get this done by a certain time. So we have to manage that, balance it, and if we can do it, then yes, we can provide the work task that has been provided to you. If not, you have to confront, tell it straight. Okay, I need some time. Normally, like the managers or the head of department will pressure you. Yeah, so that kind of ethical issues.
So in the construction, actually it's very normal that you face this issue. Actually people in construction will tend to custom the rule and you will feeling like disrespectful in form of language. This is part and parcel in the construction industry. So as a woman, if you work in this industry, you have to bear with it, and then this is actually is their culture. So you just used to it, then that is not this really is a discrimination issue for a woman.
It's a very general one, and I believe that most of the students here would want to know about it. How different was your college days compared to your working days, and how did you manage to overcome that shift? There would be a lot of different challenges and all. I mean, after being in college and all, how was it being in the working world? Do you remember your first day experience or something like that? Would you like to share it with our students here? Because most of them here, they are a bit impatient to go out there and work. So maybe you would want to share a few words on how was it like?
Said earlier, we rather switch places because
Hear that,
it's very stressful when you have to really earn your living in a way that not like now that you're just trying to pass and score your exams. So it's a bit stressful when you are facing clients or your bosses and managing your subordinates in the future. So you have to face a lot of pressure. That's what I think. School is only School of Engineering, just study and enjoy, chill. Yeah. But don't get into a rush to start working. You will definitely need to work like for half your life. So just enjoy a moment, absorb the knowledge, go for curricular activities. Just don't just study, because all work and no play makes Jack and Jill a dull person. So yeah.
Thank you. Any others?
Yeah, like I said, if I could, I would literally trade places because I think the student life is one of the easiest phase of your life. I mean, now you probably think like, oh my god, exams, assignments, deadlines, everything. But no, you see, once you go to work, right, you're working for someone. Like you can't like. I know I shouldn't be saying this with my program leader here, but you can't just get up one morning and say like, okay, I don't feel like going to class today. You have to literally go and get an MC and show it at office, and not show up. So and you get 14 days MC in a year, so that's like 1.5 days a month, which is very less. And like 20 annual leaves a year. I mean, it's great at the end of the month when you get paid and all, but it's not the same as living in your parents' house. Everything's done for you. You just need to come back and like check your bags and just study. But it's a different phase. I mean, working is also great because you get to learn so much, meet new people. But they don't see at the end of the day you're just a headcount in your company. You are not like if you go they'll replace you. But universities it's not like that. They actually take a lot of effort to make sure you're performing, you're coming for class, you're doing the right thing. If they think that you're slacking, they actually pay a lot of attention to you. So working life is a bit tough lah. It's tough love, you have to just accept it.
Actually, it's really, really easy for us now, I think. We just need to study whatever is in the class, in the syllabus, and then just pass the test. But in work, there is a lot of challenge that you cannot predict. So today when you go to meet the client, then you know what the client will tell you and what you need to do for the client. And also another day your boss come to you and ask you to do this and that, then you have to do it.
It's two different responsibility. Like as a student, you have to study, pass the exam, do assignments, and but in working life, you have to prove to the world that you have achieved. Because we have at the end of the day, we have key performance indicator. So it's called KPI. So we have to prove to our performance level, and it's a bit challenging also to the management. You have to prove because at the end of the day you are getting salary out of it. So, but if you are a student, you just have to study and pass the exams.
Thank you. That surely is an eye-opener for those who would like to. Okay, and we do have a question there from Miss Alina.
First of all, focus to Miss Hati or Miss Nata.
Because current, I think I just okay, currently we have 3 specializations in electrical electronics, and we actually having problems with communication specialization, where every semester there will be no takers. You know, like they will always go for electronics or power, but it seems that nobody wants to go for telecommunications. So, because these are potential students that haven't gone through yet, so this one, guys, if possible, to help in actually telling more about the students, like actually what telecommunications and in the real world how actually it is. Because I think most of the students get exposure a lot of power, and maybe electronics and embedded systems, but I'm not sure whether they don't understand what is telecommunications or maybe they don't have good explanation for that. Second question is, it goes back to the gender discrimination. Hopefully that it's not really that serious out there, but I think, yeah, the gender discrimination, because from whatever we have for the past few couple of hours, is that always that okay, girls, you have to go, you have to prove yourself, and so on. But if you can give advice to the boys here, because when they go out, they're going to be engineers and they're going to have a colleague of engineers. So if you can give advice to the boys from now, they can improve, they can have this sense of appreciating the women engineers. Can you please give some advice to them? Okay? And then, since you guys don't want to ask questions, then I will ask questions. With regards to power, it's more of power. So, let's say in 5 years' time, or maybe by the time they graduate, yeah? I think it's even now, renewable energy, all these alternative solutions, yeah, are being promoted and are being actually embedded in some of the syllabus. But let's say in 5 years' time, when they actually go out and work, what are the new areas that you think will be coming for them? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Selina. So, maybe a word or two on what you are working on, telecommunications especially. Second one would be gender discrimination and advice to the boys over here on how you should and should not behave when you're out there being a real world engineer, since you would be working teamed up with women engineers in your team, when you go out there. So how are you supposed to behave? And the third one would be an advice on the developing areas. What we foresee in the future of the sustainable energy. Is that correct? Yeah, sustainable energy areas. What are the fields that you think would develop further in the coming future?
Telecommunication. Actually, telecommunication is a very blurred sector. Even when I actually took up the course, like I didn't know what the working world of telecommunication would actually be like. I mean, in Malaysia, when you speak about telecommunication, you think of the three telco companies in Malaysia: Maxis, Digi, Celcom, and Astro. Basically, what the telecommunication world is about is more of TCP and IP, where it's like how you, if I keep it very basic, it's how a normal phone call is made and how you use your data. I mean, that is the basics, but there's a lot of things that actually go on in the background. The core part of it, the IP part of it, how all this works and how you actually transform that into bettering your service. it's actually it's a bit difficult for me to explain in detail, but it's actually a very evolving world. I mean, I'm quite surprised not many people want to take up telecommunication because we spend most of our time of a day with our phones. So if you want to know how it works or how you can improve it, how it will be 5 or 10 years from time, 10 years from now, and you have a part to contribute it in Malaysia. Actually, just to share, the fact that you use your LTE now, but you know that Maxis DJ and Celcom don't use the same bandwidth, because if they do, MCMC does not allow the three telcos to use the same bandwidth. They're limited. Like, even though you are like L1800 and L2600, you're actually using a different bandwidth, from which you will have overlapping in frequencies. There was actually one incident when I was in Maxis where Indonesia's space signal was actually coming through to Malaysia. So you were actually having a lot of interference because they were actually using the same frequency. So I mean, these are amongst the things that you learn and deal with in the telecommunication world. But it's still a very blurred thing in Malaysia that people don't normally consider telecommunication. When you look at engineering, you think oil and gas mainly, and then you think aviation, healthcare, even now at GE. I mean, not many people want, but I think telecommunication is something that's growing. And if you can be a part of it, by joining the telcos, it's actually a great thing. Because you can actually leave your mark. Like now we're moving towards 5G, it's actually a lot of things to do. It's not just switch on your phone and network select 5G. It's not that easy. There's a lot of things that actually goes on in the back end. Like our sites are not ready for 5G, so you need to swap the equipments. When our vendor be Huawei, which is not easy. So yeah, this is amongst the things. The second question to the boys. Basically, I can only think of two things. I mean, don't think that girls can't do anything, because they can. And they can measure up with you. Okay? Maybe they have a lot of emotional things in between, but they can do it and they will get done. Believe me. Maybe even more faster than guys, You know how guys are procrastinators. Back to the backpedals. That's the first part. And the second part is, guys, when you're actually working with, let's say, an unmarried girl, don't always think that she's a candidate, because you will get it. Okay? Try to keep it very, very professional, because everybody wants to work and make a decent living. Okay? So, yeah. That's it.
First question I can answer a bit, because my diploma is in telecommunication, computer and telecommunications diploma. So I wanted to join telecommunication in my degree program, but unfortunately there wasn't before. So yeah, so I picked electrical. Yeah, sort of moved towards this path. Second question. Treat anyone with respect, like how you want to be treated. Just don't discriminate. I think, as you said, everyone just want to do their part. And lastly, you wouldn't want to just work with guys, right? So just treat the girls nicer. Third question. In 5 years down the road, we may be looking into electric charging station for electric cars. This is what my company is doing as well. Besides that, energy storage for your homes, hybrid systems. So basically a lot in the coming 5 years besides large scale solar. So renewable energy, 5 years time, it will still grow, because we are still not achieving our target of 2 gigawatt of solar in Malaysia. 2 gigawatt. So by year 2020, so there's a lot in the line, in the pipeline. So thank you.
The first part, actually in telco, there's 2 parts. One is on mobile communication, and the other one is the networking part. So just maybe I'll elaborate on the networking. Networking is something, in the office, you sit in front of a computer. The computer actually is there's of course you all learn IP and all, right, networking. So in the data center there'll be a router and switches, so all is controlled by WAN and LAN. And also telephony also, they have IP phones, so also it's controlled by routers and switches. So it's a bit interesting if you learn networking in communication. Because at the end, you need to know, because sometimes you are interested, right? You're interested how does this phone work, how does a computer works. So at the end, you of course you can study on more on networking, how this thing works, and how and routers and switches. Okay. And the second part for the boys, be supportive. With your co-workers, especially female workers, and do not underestimate them. You know, sometimes they provide comments like, hey, you can't do this now, you are too soft, so don't do that. You know, you need to encourage your female friends, and yeah, that's all. The third one I'm not sure.
I think I will just answer the question number 2. So, my advice of advice for the guy is just be polite and respectful when talk to girls, because I know that in the construction world, guy is meant to be like this. They are talking in this way, so this is unavoidable. But just be considerate when you talk to ladies.
Thank you. We have like the forum members to comment on the field of employability. What I'm trying to mention here is that when I asked students why they pursue engineering in the first place and all, the answer was predicting the future, saying that this course will have jobs later on, this course may not have a job later on. You see things that you may not see in the future. So what inspired you to do engineering in the first place? Being a woman, what inspired you to do engineering in the first place, and did you ever thought of not being employed or things like that?
What my own individual interest was physics and maths. So when I look at these two subjects as where my interest lie, because when I did my subjects in school, there was chemistry and biology as well, which I didn't look at the future with biology in because I didn't have that much interest in it. So when I put these two subjects together, then it pointed towards engineering. But when I picked telecommunications, it's because I felt like it was an industry which was new and it will continue to grow. Like there's no end point to it. Now there's something that maybe it's always going to evolve. I think the fear of employment is there. Even if you work for like 5 years, 10 years, or 15 years, it's always going to be a fear of employment because it depends on the performance of that company that you're in. If they are not doing well, then retrenchment and VSS is always going to be there. But I mean, and that is subjective because it's there in every industry. I think like few years back, even the oil and gas industry was not doing great, and they were retrenching their staffs. But now the oil prices have actually dropped, so they're actually doing pretty well. So in every industry, there is that risk. As I think, except if you're in the medical industry, that's a bit more of a secure industry. But nevertheless, I think that shouldn't stop you from pursuing whatever you are interested in. Because, I mean, in the beginning stages, you cannot think about opening your own business and organization. You always have to go to work for somebody first, get the experience, the knowledge, the financial backing, and then you can move on and try your own thing, which, you may think it's more secure. But initially, you just have to take the risk. I mean, life is all about taking risks. So if you don't take the risk, you don't know.
Thank you, Ms.
For me, because I love to calculate, so I think, it's either accounting or engineering or physics, but I thought, engineering would suit me. And if you're talking about employability, I have interviewed like a lot of millennials, they are expecting more than they can contribute. This is
exactly.
one advice that I would like to highlight. Basically, once you graduate, you just, no matter in mechatronics or electrical or mechanical, you must have the mentality that you need to really thrive and strive for your position and don't expect much, but put in more effort. Then I think it's then you are okay. Um, People will hire you. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was what I was wanting to highlight this to students here when they think that if they go out, will they get a job and all that. So yes, Ms. Michelle has answered that very well. Thank you very much, Ms. Aarti, Ms. Michelle. Ms. In, do you have a word to say about this?
Yeah, personally, I also love to calculate. So, yeah, I'm very good in my maths subject and also science subject. So, it's my personal preference to take up the engineering course. And for the employment, actually you have to increase your knowledge, improve yourself from time to time. In case of your company is not doing well, you still can find another job as long as your personality and also you are knowledgeable, then you don't need to worry about this.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. In.
Myself, it's always been my passion to learn engineering, like especially about mobile phones, about computers, how is it, how is it's working. So it's out of my interest, and the employment you have to build your skill. So like example, there is professional courses out there. So when you enter into an industry, they are looking at your skill set. Of course, your educational background is your degree is that is a standard. Like okay, for a degree they pay you how much is the salary according to your education. But apart from that, your skill you have to build your skill. Like example, go for courses like attempt IT course or something technical courses. Yeah, with that it carries more value and you be employed.
Thank you, Ms. In this being an engineer, how important is good communication skills based on your experience?
I think it's very important, and it's not something that comes overnight. I think it develops as time goes by. I think Miss Emily was just telling this of my quiet students, and like I don't think we were this social and outspoken before this. Is like the more people you meet, because you're going to meet clients, board of directors, higher management, when you're going to present your project proposal and presentations. So you will learn and start being more confident with yourself. But it's very important to brush up on your communication skills. I mean, be in whichever language of preference that you use, but mostly the medium of communication done is in English, even if it's in a local company. But you have to be able to communicate and get your message out there so that they understand what you're trying to present. Because even if you're a product, you're trying to sell a product, so you've got to be able to sell your product.
Nice. The other members, do you have any say on this?
Yeah, this soft skills are very important. Yeah, I never thought I would be sitting here talking to you guys. I think those days I was more shy. So as you work along with a lot of people, you meet people of all ranks, clients, directors, or just engineers, you will build your self-esteem and confidence. So hence I think it's part and parcel of experience that don't just be a geek and study, we need to just talk and have fun.
Sorry, my research students, are you listening to this? how important is communication skills. Why do we need presentations? Now you know. So the forum members will not be here if they are not good communicators. You see, they've been an outstanding, they are outstanding in their own field. And that's why they've achieved the position they are in right now. And one of the main aspects I would say would be communication skills. You're able to bring your ideas across. So now you know why is presentation important. Miss Ng, your word on, since you're in this consultancy field, how important is communication in your line of area?
Yeah, actually we do need a very good communication skill. My good is as in the wording, but as long as we have to deliver whatever we want to deliver technically, and also to make sure the client and also the people is understand what you are talking about. This is the important as an engineer. You don't need to use those fancy wording to describe whatever your scope is. You just need to technically competency. But of course, you have to deliver your scope and also your knowledge to the people surrounding you.
So the right choice of words matter. You really must be able to deliver your ideas across. So that
Example, the requirement from the client. So we have to communicate and make them understand. So the communication is very important. You have to develop your communication skill starting. Of course, in the college you have presentations and also take it seriously, because the working world you have to present the project and in the PowerPoint and all. So take college presentation a serious task to perform, and then you all can succeed in the working world.
Thank you. What do you think is necessary, a graduate attribute? Yeah, say, what is important for a future graduate to possess? What do they need to have in terms of characteristics, skills, things like that, in order for them to excel in this field? This is a tough field that we are in, engineering. So what do you think would be the necessary requirements? How would you advise the students? How would they prep themselves up before they go out there? What do they need?
Really hard to do. And you cannot slack. Because if you slack in your job, they will just tell you to leave. And there'll always be somebody who is waiting for your job and your position. And the next is you have to have a lot of self-confidence. Like, you cannot think like, okay, I don't deserve to be in this company. The company is too big for me, or the role is too much for me. What if I can't cope? What if I can't cope? You don't know. Don't underestimate and doubt yourself before you have even tried. You always believe in yourself, and you see, if it doesn't work, you can always move on to something else. But if you doubt yourself in the beginning, it's always not going to work out for you. So always have a lot of self-confidence and work really hard.
Yeah, hardworking is the key. As well, you need to spend and put a lot of effort. Some things you may not know. I would suggest that maybe take some initiative to find out what is it, or how you can solve a problem. And I think initiative would be also important when you're working. Initiative to do something without being told to do. Yeah, think out of the box, offer your help when necessary, or just put effort and be hardworking.
So far we have
Also a problem solver. So we have to be ready to face all the problems that you never thought of. So don't worry about it. You just go for it, and you just think you can solve it, then you will solve it. And you don't ever think that you can work like 9 to 6, because you need extra effort. and also the time and hardworking as well to improve yourself from time to time in order to get ready to face all the challenges.
Thank you, Ms. Ellen.
In whatever you are doing and willing to learn more. So the more you learn, the more they will assign you, the more you perform, the more they will assign you to for a better task. So you have to have the passion to learn and prove to the management.
Thank you, Ms. Lena. So,
It's given to you, you need to have a deadline and you actually supposed to follow. There are consequences if you are late in delivering your product, your quotation or whatever, you might just lose out. So time is of essence. Manage your time properly. That's what I want to say.
thank you, Ms. Mixed degrees like degree in engineering, masters in probably business administration, and you see what they say is that if you have multiple fields in your portfolio, you are much more employable. How true is it? How true is that statement?
After your degree or your masters, you should know roughly what you want to do. Maybe if you want to be in education line or a professional engineer, yes, then you go for masters in engineering and register yourself in EM. But if you think that you want to be in the management level or COO, or you want to start a company, then an MBA would be more right for you, because then you will learn all aspects of business and you are in a way technically equipped as well. So these are the few options that I'm thinking of. If you want to pursue management or masters in science.
Depends on your interest. Ms. Lalita, do you have a word on this?
Actually, having too much of degrees, I'm not that sure. Because at the end of the day, you have to have experience, working experience. They're not going to see a resume without working experience. As a fresh grad, yes, you'll be judged based on your degree or master's. But after certain, like after 1 year, you want to move to a different company. You have to have a experience, working experience, and also like skills like example computer programming, C levels, C programming, that kind of PHP and all that kind of skills you should have.
Because from your CV here, I see that your master's is in project management.
Yeah, so that's why I want to, from an engineer, maybe I might not want to continue being an engineer because it's more on hands-on and technical. So I want to move to a management role. So that's why I'm doing my project management.
I see. Okay. So it depends on your own interest then.
Okay. I think you guys are given a trust by your management that you keep whatever company secrets or information in a high level of confidentiality. So how do you manage that in your work process? Because I think we have something known as data protection act. So you have to give a lot of critical confidential data information to your own confidence and your workplace. How you manage that level of trust given by your top management?
Confidentiality declaration when you join, and it will be endorsed by the head of department and the deputy CEO. So if you breach like whatever you're not supposed to, because all these informations are protected by the PDPA Act. So if you breach anything or share any information from the company, then you will be terminated within 24 hours. So in the beginning itself, they would already brief you and you would have to sign it. So because they take all the company information very seriously.
Does it apply to all the other sectors as well?
Yeah, for us, we will sign the non-disclosure agreement. There are certain things that we can share with the other party and not with any other people, but within the company, yes. So you need to be careful whatever information that you're telling people. So just, yeah, sometimes you just have to be careful because you already signed the NDA.
How do tenders coming in? You will need a lot of multiple tenders coming in, right? All is a computational data that's
For all this information, we are not sharing out there. We just within our working environment and also bosses. So yeah, this is highly confidential as this will affect the result in case this information is leaked. So we have to make sure we evaluate based on our knowledge and also the technical compliance.
anything else you want to share?
Women engineers, right? So I assume you all have faced biggest, what is your biggest challenges that you face in your working life? I believe you all have worked for a few years, right? So you should have one big challenges, the one that you feel biggest. Could you share this?
One in opposite, no, it's just next to Prince Court, the white building, it's Menara AIA. So it was like 24 stories high, and then there's RC roof, reinforced concrete roof in the middle, and it was almost like 28 stories high. So when I looked down, like, yeah, I was, but it's a reinforced concrete, as in like it's another roof altogether. If you fall, you will die. But if you fall outside, you will die. Yeah, and it's too, it's windy, it's the heat, and it's not safe. But of course, I had my safety harness, everything, so everything looked so small from up there. So that's my biggest memorable challenge.
Thanks. Thank you. Yeah. Memorable experience, or maybe anything that has made you break down in certain situations. Since we are women, we see something that has forced you to.
Okay, mine is probably not memorable, but it's probably sometimes it's just peer pressure lah. I mean, coming from being a doctor, being a girl, and since you're obviously going to be asked the wonderful question of when you're going to get married and settle down and those kind of things, like people keep like stopping you from pursuing what you want to do. Like it's always those kind of like peer pressure stuff. It's never really been like I mentioned, it's nothing that has been like dampening or hurtful so far. It's been alright so far.
Thank you.
Mine would be I had to stay few days, like I think 2 to 3 days in a data center overnight. You know, data center is very cold inside, very chill. So you have to perform installation, router and switches installation overnight with all the cables. You have to do cable management. So that's a bit challenging in my home throughout.
How did you cope with it?
I don't know, when it comes over, I was the only site manager that time. So, but of course, there's other male engineers there to support. Like, example, like you have to carry big objects, routers and all, you have to carry lift. Of course, there's trolley available, but at some point, sometimes we don't want to depend too much with the working colleagues. So sometimes I just do it myself.
Thank you. Lisa?
My memorable experience would be when I just start working, because I'm working in construction field. So the site is ongoing, and at the time, I realized my design is wrong, and I actually is sleepless because of I'm very the site is ongoing, all the structure is up, and the M&E item we have to capture before it. But because it's already tender, it will be a variation order and will cause a big variation. And also, it's a surprise to client. So we need to explain to client why this will happen. So we need to justify ourselves that this abortive cost, and also we have to, how to say, our professionalism and also the reputation of the company. So it makes me cannot sleep. because construction, when you see like other project, all the structure is ready, architecture is ready. You see why the project is delayed years. It's just because of M&E system. When you say you think the structural is the body of the building, I would say the M&E is the soul of the building. Otherwise, you cannot operate.
Thanks, Mr.
Face problems and solve it. How we can improve our analyzing skills as
How
engineers?
can we improve our analyzing skills?
Analyzing skills.
How do we improve? Freshie, you need to have a mentor for you, so that you can always check before whether what you're doing is right or wrong. Before you submit it and it gets approved or rejected, and you have to try to go for a lot of trainings. Every company will have a lot of training, personal training, program training. They have a lot of trainings. So make sure you go for a lot of trainings. Only then you can learn.
I think there's the SWOT analysis that you kind of like put the pros and cons, the strengths and weaknesses before you pick on anything. So this is something for you to gauge, to analyze pros and cons.
SWOT analysis. It's strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So there is a form of analysis that you could take to see which area you're good at and which area you need improvement and so on. So probably that's how you can improve your analyzing skills. In general, do you mind if I could wrap up? I could answer that. And so I think from what Miss Aarti was saying, that for yourself, and you would learn from that person to analyze your problems. Is that correct? Is there anything else that you would wish to add to it? Analyzing problems. So initially when you enter, you would have to have a person to mentor you. And then probably with experience, further more and more problems comes in, and you get used to it. Yes, and then you get used to it. Question answered. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Any other questions? Oh, okay.
I'm just want to ask about what are the jobs chances after graduate? What chances of jobs we can do after graduate? And which one is save more money? Thank you.
And get paid more, being a fresh graduate. So you're always going to be lesser paid, but then I think that it's easy to get a job as a fresh graduate because they're more willing to start from bottom than to pay you higher. That's what I think.
The others, do you have a say in this? About employability, right?
I think we kind of discussed about the employability earlier.
Yes.
So maybe you weren't paying much attention to that.
Yeah, because that's actually a common issue among students these days. They tend to look forward 100 steps ahead. Like I would take this course because later on I would get a job in this field. I don't take this course because I don't get a job in this field. So it's kind of subjective in that sense that you cannot predict. Yeah.
But fresh graduates, I must say, they are very dynamic in a way. So we learn from each other every day. I learn from my juniors as well. Thank you.
Sorry, Ms. Michelle. Thank you. Thank you for your input. Coming your future here. You will actually learn a lot, and because like from the people that I know here, most of them have gone out and created a very good future for themselves. So you just have to make use of the opportunity that has been given to you, and just have a lot of confidence in yourself, and you will make it big. It's a slow process. Don't expect fast promotions and great salary. It's a long process, but you will.
I agree with Aki said. You're definitely in good hands. I've known Dr. Siva for, I think, 19 years. Wow. So he is very experienced, yeah. And I think just go ahead with your passion. Then you will know later what you want to do in your life. Yeah. And thank you for inviting me, and thank you for your attention. Even though one is sleeping over there.
I believe you would understand better since you were all in these shoes before. Ms. Earl, a word of advice for your...
Yeah, I think you need to be patient in engineering field. Don't demand much for the salary. Yeah, because later on the boss will give you more job. So equip yourself, then you will get what you want.
Ms. Larissa, just go with your flow, just mingle around. Of course, you have to have your degree and skill set. Other than that, you just enjoy work life with your colleagues, perform your task well, and then you'll be paid.
Okay, thank you very, very much.